regular Tuesday live stream, a chit chat stream, a stream on which I usually come and sit here and chat to people. And people ask me questions, and we engage in various conversations. Sometimes positive conversations, sometimes not so very positive conversations. Last time, I gotta say, I received quite a bunch of interesting questions, some of which I've answered, and there are gonna be shorts dropping on my channel throughout this week. And these shorts are actually excerpts from that latest live stream. Today, it's kind of chilly. So I'm sitting here in the garage, which is also my studio. This is where I paint. I have some of my latest works right here. Today's going to be yet another Tuesday live stream chit-chat kind of live stream. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Wonderful. So today I'm going to be working on another article for the Sun City story. Last week I was one day late. I usually publish articles on Wednesdays on my WordPress site, which of course I want to encourage everybody to check out. Like, please go and check out my WordPress site. If you like the Sun City singles, which are now coming out, and that's going to be a whole album. If you like the music, check out my WordPress blog and check out the articles, because the articles tell a deeper story. Every article follows the story of Anna Mira, who is the protagonist of this story, of the Sun City story. So definitely check out my WordPress website. I see someone is watching. Thank you for coming in. Hi to you, whoever you are. How are you guys doing? Pookie Tutu says hi. Isra Frey says, what web? Good. Good, wonderful. Yo, Vanilla Bean ZZZ. Yeah, nice to meet you guys, and thank you for coming on my live stream. Oh, there are 10 people all of a sudden. That's wonderful. Like I was saying in the very beginning, on Tuesdays, I have this live stream where I just go live and I just talk to people. I answer questions. I, just talk to people. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm a painter. There's some of my paintings behind me. That's the one I'm working on currently. So, oh my God. Guys, be civil. This is something I want to warn everybody about right off the bat. Be civil. Because if someone is going to misbehave, I'm going to ban you off my live stream. It happened last time. It happened 2 weeks ago, and it will definitely happen again. Needs to go to sleep. It's 12 o'clock already, wherever you are. Okay, well, good night then. Great confidence, lovely artwork. Thank you, Pookie Tutu. If you like my artwork, check out my channel. I have paint-through videos, time lapses of me painting, and links to my store where you can buy artwork. Vanilla Beans puts question marks. What do you mean by question marks? Pookie Tutu, thank you very much. And I have to say this because I'm a YouTuber. Of course, I have to invite everybody. And like, if you like my content, if you like paint-through videos, painting-related content, if you like music, then definitely subscribe to my channel, explore my channel, see something, maybe you'll find something for yourself. And if you don't like it, then don't subscribe. Hi from London. Hi from Kentucky, Saber Crosby 8128. Nice to meet you. How is it going in London? How cold is it actually? I'm sitting indoors today because it's kind of chilly. So is the entirety of Luffy's body rubber? Like, I mean the entirety. I don't know who's Luffy, frankly. Brochacho. What does brochacho mean? I don't know. Nice painting in the back. I have a print for this painting. If you're talking about this one, I have a print which I've just published a few days ago in my Etsy store. So definitely check it out. You can go to my community tab and I shared it there. I have a print of it. This painting is the one that I'm working on currently. It's still not finished. It's a larger one. So yeah, this is where I paint every evening. Nice painting, yeah. So how's it going in London? What's up? Acrylic, no, it's oils. I paint in oils. I want to actually expand into acrylics because I want to explore mixed media. I want to get me some acrylic paint, and I want to start doing underpaintings with acrylics. And I also want to incorporate spray paint and then paint in oils on top of this. But I really love the feel of oil paint, and I like it that it dries slowly. That's the part that I really enjoy. London is very warm for October, global warming. Oh, we had it pretty warm even like a week ago. It was still kind of summer warm, but now it really starts to chill. And I don't know, there's probably this huge hurricane that's going on right now in Jamaica. I guess it's pushing a lot of stuff upwards. I don't know, but it's not warm today. And that's why I'm sitting in the garage. Just watched Old Barn. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's one of my older paintings. It's from 2 years ago, I believe. It was fun to paint. Jim Billy. Hey, nice art. Thank you very much, Mr. Gurba. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Definitely check out my store. I have the Etsy links plastered all over the place on every video, and you can just switch over to my community tab. I post paintings there literally every day, almost every day. Yeah, 2023 December, right. I was kind of really missing spring in December, so I had a few reference photos of that barn, but the reference photos were from spring, so I just wanted to paint that barn and in anticipation of spring. I'm not a fan of winter. Just say Junior, don't say my whole name. Okay, deal. Well then, hello Junior, and thank you for the compliment. Did you paint that? It's absolutely marvelous. Yes. Yes, I painted that. And thank you for complimenting my work. I really appreciate this. Yeah, it has those emotions. Yeah. I love spring. Spring is my most favorite time of year. How do you guys feel about the time of year? What is your favorite? Any tips for drawing with pencil? Well, one solid tip that I can give you is don't hold the pencil like a pen, like a writing pen. Hold it. I'll show you. I'll hold it like this. See what I'm doing? Hold it like this, and don't get carried away. Don't get carried away with small little details right off the bat. Rather, start with the flat of the graphite, and use this kind of motion because it will give you more flexibility, and it will allow you to kind of ease yourself into sketching. Start like this and draw loosely. When you're learning to draw, I would actually recommend to go ahead and start with charcoal. If you're just getting started, grab some cheap charcoal for artists and start with charcoal. It's going to be messy, but it's very fluent because it allows you can rub things off. Definitely use gloves, disposable gloves, and use charcoal. You can wipe things right off the bat. You can use the eraser and just wipe things off, and it will allow you to kind of feel more at ease and not to freak out so much about the complexities of drawing. And then switch over to a soft pencil, but keep this kind of loose approach. This, it's very limiting. At least that's my view, that's my perspective. Thank you for sharing it. Wish I knew how to paint. Well, if you have the desire to paint, start somewhere and start just looking up, other painters and who does what and how, and eventually you'll get better. Just start trying. Just start trying it, somewhere, and you will get somewhere. This is how it works, Spring is like new energy or reborn or restart, something like that. Yes, exactly. Hi, Mahbub Sami. Hello. Yeah. When I was a teenager, and I was depressed a lot of time. I was depressed for a lot of reasons. Fall was my favorite time of year. It kind of felt like it felt that nature and everything around sort of rhymes with my true feelings, and I would immerse myself in that sadness and the darkness, and for good reason. But I think as I grew older, I started to naturally gravitate out of depression, out of depressive states. I was combating seasonal depression and, generally speaking, depression, and kind of trying to rectify my life in this past 2-3 years. I had to work through a lot of stuff. So as I did that, eventually I landed on the side of loving spring a lot more than fall. Hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good day too. Thank you. You can call me Sammy. Okay, Sammy, I'll call you Sammy. Hi, says Abhi. Hi to you. Interesting, says C.S. Moran. Did you paint that? Yes, I painted this. And the print for this painting, again, is available in my Etsy store. I can't pin it as a product here because YouTube doesn't allow me to pin products from my Etsy store directly here. Hey, Catherine, how are you? Ayush Kumar, hello, I'm glad to see you. Yay! Saw you last time. I'm doing fine. The weather is kind of chilly today, so I'm sitting indoors answering questions. Hesam Gudarzi says hi. Hi to you. Nice to meet you. How are you doing? It's raining here in Iowa. Oh my. It's probably colder than here, just guessing. It was raining yesterday here, and it's probably gonna start raining around midnight, and it's gonna just keep pounding and raining. And you know about this hurricane that is currently over Jamaica? It's gonna, I guess it's pushing a lot of stuff upwards to the north. Where am I from? I'm sitting here in Kentucky, United States. Bigula says hi to you, and Alone Violin says hi. Alone Violin, that's an interesting handle. Do you play violin, actually? Are you a musician? I know very little about art. The more I know, the less it feels. How to fix it? How to fix it? What do you mean? Nice to meet you too. What's the difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi? People in Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but people from Abu Dhabi do. Okay, never heard about it, apparently. I didn't know it was a thing. I know a lot of Muscovites, well, a certain class of Muscovites are huge fans of Dubai. Yeah, I play violin. Wonderful. Do you have your music anywhere released? I'd like to go and check you out after the live stream, of course. Alpha student says hi to you. Tiffany says hello. Hello, Tiffany. Glad Tiffany Lillian, hello. Can we please look at the painting closely? Now, this particular painting is explicit. I'm afraid that I'll have a problem with the YouTube live stream if I start to show it closely. So I would like to show it, but I can't. I think YouTube might just block this live stream. So I have the post of this painting on my community tab. Posted it just like a week ago. So go check it out, then click the link. It will lead you to my Etsy store. And there, in the end of the carousel, you can see the painting uncensored. You see what I mean? Oh, you're just a student. Good. What is this live stream about? Jonathan says. Well, like I said in the very beginning, every Tuesday I go live at 4 o'clock EDT, and I just sit here and I chat to people. I respond to questions. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm a painter. I invite people to go check out my stuff and, you know, just having a casual chit-chat. That's what this live stream is all about. How can know everything about art? Well, in order to know something about something, you got to study. I went to art school at the age of 12. And then also I went to a music school separately when I was a teenager. And ever since then, I kept studying. And this is how, you know, I learned things. And you don't necessarily have to go to like an institution, to like a school or something, but you can definitely start learning about art and you will learn a lot. Dubai is amazing. Have been living there for 2 years. Well, good for you. I've never been to Dubai. Is it true that you have almost no crime in Dubai? Tell me, because I'm curious. Thank you, Jonathan. I really appreciate this. Thank you. Pookie Tutu says, I love the slogan, go big or go home. Yes, that's a good slogan, go big or go home. Do you live from your art? Oh, it's complicated. I don't live from my art only as a painter. I've been living mostly from music virtually my entire adult life. I've been a freelancer for the longest time. I've been a vocal coach. I've been a teacher. And I've taught people music theory and playing some basic guitar and keyboards, this kind of stuff, for over 10 years. Then I lost my voice because I had a surgical accident. And then I spent 7 years recovering my vocals. One of my vocal cords was paralyzed. So at some point I was jobless. I couldn't teach vocals anymore in 2013. So I did other gigs. I was doing like music production and mixing, sound engineering stuff, composing music. So I mostly was working in that, and that was, you know, a lot of my freelance gigs were coming from there. But that was back in the day when I was living in Moscow. And I was also picking up some freelance gigs, designing, painting, copywriting, this kind of stuff. At some point, I worked as an art director for a magazine back in the year 2004, back in Moscow. The name of the magazine was Impresario. So I also did some editing and some designing, you know, specific design for magazines, this kind of stuff. This was a long time ago. So you know, to answer your question, I sort of live off of my art, or rather off of my artistic abilities, but it was scattered all over the place over the years. And nowadays, I think what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to kind of put it all together, you know? And nowadays, I continue doing music. And I picked up oil paints just, what, 2-3 years ago. And now I'm putting it all together. And you know, I have a story, Sun City, which currently I'm making a music album out of this, releasing it single by single, and at the same time, I'm painting paintings to accompany this album, and I'm writing WordPress blog posts, which are kind of the groundwork for a book that I will be writing. So I'm doing all these things simultaneously, and hopefully all of this is going to pan out. But ultimately, it's a pretty risky life, I think. It's pretty unstable. It was very unstable over this, years. Ever since I started, doing things in the early 2000s, it was mostly just, survival. How do you get ideas for these paintings? A lot of my ideas come from my dreams, and also from, I don't know, it's not that I'm meditating, but I see dreams every time I sleep. And then, I like to think that I have a pretty vivid imagination. So sometimes I'm thinking as I'm listening to music, or I'm working on music, or while I'm writing something, I visualize things and concepts. And sometimes it just ties together. And sometimes I think I want to say something, but I don't have a clear concept. And then 2 days later, I wake up and I have a new idea, So that's kind of how it works. Where is the link to your artwork? Check out my community tab, and there are like posts of my paintings. The link to my Etsy store is probably also on my homepage, where the links are, the website links. You click about, and there are like my Bandcamp, my Etsy store. Check it out there. It's 11:30 p.m. for me. I'm almost asleep. Where are you from? I'm sitting here in Kentucky. Originally, I'm from Moscow, Russia. Been living in the United States for 6 years now. So, where are you from? 100% says Mahmoud Sami. I'm catching up on the chat a little bit. No crime at all. Hey, that's wonderful. Really. Do you have any music covers? I used to do music covers, and I've released a whole bunch of them over the years, and then I kind of stopped doing this. I was publishing them through DistroKid, through my distributor, but it's just not feasible because they charge you every year, and it's just too much. You know what I mean? Need to head to bed, tired, but followed up on Instagram. Thank you very much, Jonathan. I really appreciate it. Love Soda for Eva. Hello, ma'am. Hello to you, Love Soda Eva. I don't know how to call you, but you're probably Eva. Very interesting life. Thanks for the insight. Need a lot of bravery. Thank you very much. Eva's 5735. Well, it's been complicated, over the years. And it's still kind of complicated, but like they say in Russian, кто не рискует, тот не пьет шампанского. The ones who don't take the risks don't drink champagne. That's how they say it. Mahmoud Sami says, I think I understand you because I'm a musician too. You get it. You get it. I used to teach. I used to play gigs in a band, in a folk band, way back. Gosh, starting when I was a teenager, played a lot of gigs in like embassies, weddings, this sort of stuff. Did a lot of this. Do you lucid dream? I'm guessing yes, because you remember your dreams. Yes, I lucid dream. And I have to say that I don't use any substances. I don't drink any alcohol at all. I've just, it was just the way I am. And it's been this way since I was a little kid. I still remember my first nightmare. It's actually pretty freakish, but I still remember it. Someone is sending a lot of surprised emojis there. Message is held for review. What's up there? Okay, let's see. Will it allow me to see the message? Oh, Jonathan says good night. I don't know. Why is this an inappropriate message? This is so ridiculous. Good night to you, Jonathan. I have lucid dreamt like twice after using Dream Journal. Huh. I don't know what is Dream Journal. I have to look it up. I know there are practices to kind of, but it's kind of sophisticated stuff. Like my oldest friend, and she lives back in Moscow, Russia. She got this dreaming thing to the next level, like she controls her dreams. I'm not there. I feel everything, like all the stuff, the temperature, the texture of things. I feel the pain and the pleasure, and I can sing, and I practice in my dreams sometimes. When I was recovering my voice after complete voice loss, and I was trying to regrow my recurrent nerve back to my muscles, I would sing in my dreams, or I would scream, and I would figure out the techniques and the approaches. I would do all of that work in my dreams. You know, this is how crazy it is. You can learn while you are asleep if you take control of it. It's pretty cool stuff. Most people do not remember their dreams, so in order to lucid dream, the first step is to write down whatever you remember right after you wake up. I think I know what you mean. Yes, lucid dream is scary as hell. You're probably used to it. Yes. You know, the way I would put it, I'm still not sure where do I go when I fall asleep. I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of very weird stuff going on there, because so many times throughout my lifetime, you know, you go to bed, you fall asleep, you close your eyes, and then you see a multitude of things. You go into one reality, into another reality, into another reality. But the bizarrest thing is that sometimes you see things there which you don't even know exist in your awake life. And then you wake up, and then, for example, a week later, a month later, you come across the stuff that you saw in the dream. Or you start looking up something. What is that thing that I've seen in the dream? You know? Where is that place? What do you call this architectural element? What do you call that place? Where could it possibly be? And then, you know, you find out that that's an actual real historic place, you know, with actual artifacts, with actual people who live there, you know, with some actual structures or something like this. I'm having these experiences all the time. So I know it kind of sounds nuts, but this is why I'm saying I'm not exactly sure where exactly do we go when we fall asleep, when we lucid dream. I don't know. There is a lot of room for exploration, frankly. Probably somewhere in Alberta, says Blast. Another message held for review. Use some, oh my God. Please, once again, reminding everybody to be civil. Lucid dream is scary, yes. Probably. I don't know how to read this, I'm sorry. I don't speak your language. But did you use to do it as long as you can remember, or did you follow a methodology? I know, it's just, you know, something that naturally occurs to me since I was a little kid, you know, and I kind of never questioned it. I'll tell you more. Throughout my life, for the longest time, I thought that this is normal and that everybody sees dream like this, you know, because I was so accustomed to it. It seemed so natural to me. And then when I was retelling my dreams to my parents when I was little, they were telling me that, you know, mom used to tell me, oh, don't worry, it's just a dream, you know, whatever. And dad used to tell me that he doesn't really believe me, that this can't be, that I can't see things like that. But I saw a lot there. I met a lion in my dream when I was a little kid, before I knew what a lion is. How do you explain this? You know what I mean? It's pretty damn crazy. No way, that happens to me too. I thought I was crazy. No, you're not crazy. There is something going on about dreaming. You know, something really interesting about this. The Sun City story that I'm releasing as an album right now, and writing about in my WordPress blog, and that I'm going to make a book of, and that I have paintings associated with. This Sun City story is based on a dream. Just saying. Damn, I kept trying to explain this to people, but they think I'm crazy. You get it. You're not crazy. You look like you would make a great mom. Warming up the atmosphere. They call it déjà vu. Do you know about déjà vu? Yes, I know about déjà vu, but I don't think it's sort of déjà vu, really. There's something else going on. I mean, when you certainly know that, like, I haven't been to a lot of places in the world. So how can I have the experience of being, I don't know, to India if I know that in reality I've never been to India? I've never traveled to Constantinople, for example. I've never been to ancient Palmyra. So how can I experience going there? You know what I mean? And by the way, I gotta also say that I'm not the kind of person who watches a lot of like movies and this kind of stuff. No. I see a lot of things in my dreams, but those are not things that come from movies. Now, if something shows up from a movie, then I can clearly see that that is from a movie, but it rarely shows up. Why are you lying about not going to India? Young Skitty says, I'm not lying. I haven't been to India ever in my life. Seriously. Do Russians believe in reincarnation or past lives? Well, it's kind of complicated because, to my knowledge, well, there is a lot of Russian Orthodox Christians in Russia, and they believe in reincarnation, but they don't necessarily believe in past lives. So it's a Christian view. I'm not an Orthodox Christian, so I have my beliefs, and they're sort of pliable because the way I think about it is that I don't know a lot of things, and I'm discovering things. And as I discover them, as I learn a little bit here and there, I'm adjusting my belief system. You see what I mean? But Russians as a whole, Russians are very diverse. You have Orthodox Christians, you have Buddhists, you have atheists, you have, people who are strictly materialistic, and they would tell me that I'm crazy. And I've certainly heard a lot of those people, throughout my lifetime. There's a lot of Muslims, Russians, So, and those belief systems, as far as I know, they don't imply reincarnation. I've asked some Hindu and Buddhist monks, and they say that déjà vu feeling is a flash from a previous life. What if it is? It might be. But the thing is that I can't prove it and I can't disprove it. It's one of those things. My gut feeling tells me that it's true. It tells me that it's true, but I don't have the scientific basis underneath all of this to say, like, yeah, that's definitely the truth. And I'm not going to be going around and telling people, like, yeah, this is the truth, and you got to listen to this, and whatever. You see what I mean? People won't even believe you if you tell them lucid dreaming exists. Frankly, I prefer not to tell people. I'd rather not tell a lot of people about this, because a lot of people are going to assume that I'm completely nuts, which, I think is kind of fine because I'm an artist. I'm kind of supposed to be a little nuts, frankly. But would I expect people to understand? No, because you can't really understand such things unless you actually experience it. It's very hard to explain to someone that you went to bed and you slept for an hour and a half, but during that time, in your dream, you've lived like 10 years of a life that was completely different, and you didn't remember who you are in the awake world. It's very difficult to explain how vivid this experience is. And then you wake up after an hour and a half, and you can't believe where you are. You feel kind of disoriented. And I had a dream like this. It was crazy. I was a mother of a little girl who was going to school, and I wasn't living in this country or in my home country. I was living, I don't know, probably Australia or something like this. There was an attack on the school, and my kid was taken as hostage. It was all super hyper realistic. That whole dreadful scenario, you know what I mean? It was crazy. You know, the adrenaline and all of this, the threat. And it was totally believable. But then when it was over, I managed to get my kid out of that situation, rush her out of there. And then I went to the police because apparently didn't know that there's a school that is being, you know, there are hostages at a school, this kind of stuff. And then I'm trying to, in my dream, I'm trying to answer the questions of the officer, and he's asking me, what's your name? And I all of a sudden realize that I don't remember what's my name. He's asking me, where am I from? And I don't remember where am I from. And then I realized that I also don't remember who's the father of my daughter. You know what I mean? And I don't even remember what country is this. You know, it's such an insane, intense experience. And then I wake up after this hour and a half, and it's crazy because in that dream, I lived like 10 years. I was going to work. I was having a normal job. I was having a normal life. I was having a husband. I was having a kid. I was having all these things. You know what I mean? A whole life in just an hour and a half. And I woke up, I was devastated because I was like, where's my daughter? And what am I doing here? You know what I mean? It sounds crazy. And when you describe it, when you tell a story like this to a person who doesn't see lucid dreams, they assume that, you know, you're abusing something or that maybe you're just not well or something to that effect. And I get it. You know what I mean? You can touch stuff and feel stuff that seems the most crazy to me, yes. It's really crazy. Which then, you know, if I'm not sure where do we go when we sleep, so then my next reasonable question then is, I'm not quite sure who we are then, because, well, they say we're humans. Yes, we are humans. But if we can do things that kind of pierce the veil and bend reality or go beyond the known reality, who are we really, and where do we go, and why do we need to go there, and how is it so that some people can go there and other people can't? You know what I mean? There's so many questions. Stefan Morano says, yes, I am. Yeah, they actually did research on lucid dreaming. I came across something, but frankly, I don't remember. What did they find out? What do you know about this? Because I'm curious. It was 10 people, then all of a sudden it dropped to 3. Now it's back to 5 people. By the way, I want to thank everybody who is hanging out today. I didn't expect myself going into this topic of lucid dreaming, but, you know, this is kind of how it is every Tuesday. I don't know what the stream is going to be about. I just come on and I start talking and I invite people to ask questions and interact, and then, you know, something happens. Message is held for review. What do we got there? Let me Yep. I haven't read the paper, but it's a whole document of how they tried lucid dreaming and developing a methodology for people who can't do it naturally. Hi to you, Farhan. That's interesting. I know that by the way, the Soviets were researching this too, back in the day. But I also know that there is a lot of, it's kind of this very slippery topic, and there is a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding it, you know, and a lot of things that are just not not believable. And I suspect that there is a lot of information which is deliberately put out to confuse people or to misinform people. A lot of misleading stuff, a lot of smokes and mirrors. I like to find out more about the truth, but truth is hard to find when you're looking at something that is really, really important. Are you a fan of Elvis Presley? Well, I'm respectful of Elvis Presley, but I can't say that I'm like a fan. Not really. Elvis Presley is cool. I dream about Hooters chicken nuggets. Well, to each their own. Savis researched all crazy things. Oh yes, a lot of interesting stuff is out there, and I gotta tell you, Ayush Kumar, I guess you have quite an inquisitive mind, and I'm just suspecting that probably these kind of things are not the only things that you were looking into. There is a lot of interesting there. There is a lot of information, a lot of things that are not talked about in the mainstream, that are not taught at school, that are not taught in the educational system. And I like to go there. I like to explore things. Yes, shush. I'm not going to talk about it here on a live stream. That would be crazy. Appreciate the answer. That answered my question. You're welcome. You're welcome. Dream about Hooters chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets are fine. Farhan, where are you from? Farhan org. Farhan looks to me like it's something Iranian, or I might be wrong. Iraqi, Iranian, Middle Eastern, or Indian. I don't know. You ever been to Hooters? Nah, never been. Is it a fast food kind of chain, something like this? Because I generally speaking don't attend restaurants in this country, and definitely not fast food. I've been to Arby's. I didn't like their burger. I was starving. My husband drove me to an Arby's. It was like 4 or 5 years ago, and ever since then, I'm not going there. I'm generally not a fan of such places, frankly. I like to cook myself, really. Gosh, I have this one question. That I want to ask. If there is anybody from the Middle East, is there anybody from the Middle East? Now, I love halwa, but the only halwa that I ever tried was the Russian type of halwa, which is based on sunflower seeds. But I want to try Iranian halwa, and I want to try out Greek halwa, because those are, other varieties. And I'm asking people, if anybody is from Iran or from that region, from the Middle East, can anybody recommend to me what is a reliable producer, and what would be their suggestion? Mary, hello. Hi, Kat, just dropped into my first live chat. I'm so happy to find you again. I'm praying you've been well and doing good the last few years. I love the painting I saw you do yesterday. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Mary. Yeah, I'm doing fine. A lot of things changed. I actually made a video about this. It was pinned to my channel for a while. A lot of things changed. I moved on from a lot of things, and I'm kind of focusing more on just being an artist nowadays. Not doing social political commentary anymore. Indian halwa, Anshuf says. Okay, do you know of an online store in the US, in America, where I can buy Indian halwa? Some good Indian halwa. I'd like to try it, frankly. We have Indian dish too called halwa. It's made from carrots and it's sweet. It's like a dessert. Whoa, from carrots. That's interesting. Never tried it. I covered one medley yesterday in my dream. It was amazing. Oh, Sammy, are you familiar with lucid dreaming too? Do you experience this kind of thing? Covered a medley yesterday in a dream. That's pretty awesome. A medley meaning like a musical medley, right? Cindy Dalton says, hi to you, Cindy. Nice to meet you. How are you doing? I will cover it tomorrow when I wake up. Okay, that sounds like a plan. Farhan says, would you like to paint a picture of Bruce Willis? I appreciate Bruce Willis as an actor. I paint pictures. I paint people, but I painted a few famous people in the past 2 years, and I have these paintings hanging in the house, and I kind of have to think of where do I put my time. I have a lot of things to paint, so in order for me to paint Bruce Willis, if there's someone who wants a painting of Bruce Willis, I can certainly do it. But by default, I just have my hands full with all of these other paintings, and there's only 24 hours in a day, and I'm doing music and I'm writing and all of this, so it's just there's a lot of people that I would like to paint, but I don't know. It's more about whom should I prioritize, you know what I mean? No, I don't think there is one in the US. Medleys mixed 2 or 3 songs. Yep, that's right. I don't think there is one in the US. There is I've seen something. What is it? Persian Market or something like persianmarket.com, something like that. And they have some halwas there and other produce as well. But there are other stores. I just want to find a reliable one where, because I don't know these producers, it's a completely different game. I can order Russian food online, and when it comes from producers that I actually know, I know it's reliable. But with other foods, I'm not sure, I think there is one. Okay, I had a great friend from Iran whose mom brought candles and desserts for us years ago. So good. I love the pistachio candy. Oh my God, I gotta try this. You can make it in home. Take carrots, 2 to 3 kilos, grind it, take milk and mava. What is mava? Sugar, and fry for long. Huh. Okay, so I will have to find out a recipe for this. Father, are you Swiftie? No, I don't think I'm Swiftie. I'm a metalhead, really. I'm more of a Slipknot fan, Korn, that kind of stuff. But I do like some songs by Halsey, frankly. So I can listen to pop music, but for the most part, I think I'm more into nu metal, death metal, like Gojira, Meshuggah, Dream Theater, progressive metal. That's more of my thing. Titan Speaker Man. Hello, Titan. I'm glad to see you. Remember me? Yes, I do remember you. Mava is made up of milk. I don't know what to say. Okay, so Mava is a thing. It's not a typo. I will look up Mava and I will see the chat in the replay, once this stream is ended. So thank you very much. Anshuf, thank you very much. I definitely will try to do it. I love carrot, and I love to shred carrot and then to mix it up with sour cream and, to use it as a salad. Hi to you, Titan. How are you doing? What's up? Ayush Kumar says, Back in Black. Back in Black. Gosh. See, I'm not so good at like classic metal or classic rock. This rings a bell. Who is it? Black Sabbath? Or who? Back in Black. Or is it... Yeah, I'm not good at this. Oh, it's AC/DC. Well, see, I've never been a fan of them. If you named a Nirvana song, I would be able to remember that. Or a Slipknot song, Maybe a Slipknot song, at least their earlier stuff. I'm not that familiar with the latest album, but I can tell you, I actually used to know by heart a whole ton of their lyrics because I used Slipknot songs and Korn songs for practice, for vocal practice, way back. No way you can say that. Yes, can you imagine? But whatever. I'm not ashamed to not know something or to not remember something. I'm not perfect. I'm just a human being. And I'm a deeply flawed human being, really. And tomorrow I have school. Ooh, how is your school going on? What year are you in? Is it like high school or no? No, saying I don't like. Well, it's not that I don't like them. I'm just saying I've never been like a fan. It's not like I would put them on and listen to them and vibe to them. I would rather vibe with Meshuggah. But hey, my tastes are kind of weird. I'm a strange person. I can listen to a track by Meshuggah, then after that switch over and listen to an EDM track, a progressive trance track, then switch over from that, listen to a song by Slipknot and kind of really kind of groove to it, and then go ahead and write my music, which is going to be different from all of them. You know what I mean? So, Highway to Hell. Yep. Else. MNVM, never mind, it's high school. Okay, it's high school. Well, like I said on one of my previous streams, high school is going to end sooner or later. You know what's the bizarre thing? Is that right now it seems that it's so boring and that it's so, oh my God, I got to have this class and I've got to study algebra and chemistry and physics and all the things that I don't really need. But the hilarious part is that 20 years later, you'll be looking back at these days and you'll be wondering, oh God, I remember that was such a cool time. I remember hanging out with my friends and, I was so young and this was so cool, and I was so naive about this stuff and that was kind of dumb and whatever. People have a whole lot of memories about this time. So Titan, I just want to say, enjoy your time. As much as you can, enjoy your time. Life is short. Just saying. Best time of my life was high school. Well, there you go. Ashur Kumar gets it. I can't say that my time in school was the best time of my life. It was a very challenging time. I have some wonderful memories, but there was also a lot of hardship. But the bottom line is that I definitely have a lot of things to remember. That's cool. Mary says, no one is perfect. I'm an old rocker, but love Beethoven and George Winston. Beethoven is cool. George Winston. Who is George Winston? I don't know. Pardon my ignorance. Farhan says, what is your favorite song and would you sing it for us? What is my favorite song? That's a damn difficult question. What is my favorite song? I don't know. Seriously, I don't know what's my favorite song. It depends on the mood. When I'm more in the metal mood, I might have, Unsainted by Slipknot as my favorite song of the day. And then the other day, I might be just walking around and singing Summertime. Do you guys remember the song Summertime? Does anybody remember this song? Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your dad is rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Do you remember this song? That's kind of like an old song by George Gershwin. And I remembered it since I was a kid. Don't remember who was singing it when I first heard it, but when I kind of need to keep it together, in life, I was singing this song before going into surgery. I was literally going through the corridor to the operation room. I didn't know That was my first surgery ever, you know, first time that I was under complete anesthesia. I was terrified. I didn't know if I'm going to wake up after that. I didn't know what's going to happen to my voice after that surgery. And I was right to worry because I woke up and I couldn't speak. And I couldn't sing for 7 years. So I was going into that surgery that day, July 28th, 2013, early in the morning, and I was singing this song, Summertime. Little did I know, you know. Well, it helped me to keep up my spirits, but damn it, I didn't know that it would take me 7 years, another 7 years, to be able to sing that song again. Pretty crazy, isn't it? Titan says, I'll go changing my profile. Okay. You're an amazing guitarist. I watched one of your covers. It's really amazing. Thank you, Sammy. Covers? I don't think I've actually played covers. I mean, as far as guitar goes, I have my music that, you know, it's my music. I sing on this music and I play the guitars on my music myself. I also mix everything myself, you know, but my husband plays the bass parts for me. Every time I ask him and every time he is cussing and swearing because I write him crazy bass parts and then he's like, how am I supposed to play this? You know what I mean? Yes, enjoy spending time with the high school friend. You'll always remember them. Yes, yes. Got to get back to packing. We're moving, but great to see you again. Be well. Thank you very much, Mary. Piano player George Winston does a great version of Ode to Joy, Symphony No. 5, on his December CD. Hey, I gotta check him out. Never heard him. Yes, I know that song too. Hush. Yes, yes, that's a wonderful song. Yeah. Yes, of course I remember. Yes, Farhan remembers. It's a very famous song, and I mean, I used to have a cover version of this song actually. Well, you're a singer also. Yes, I'm a singer. All of the songs that are on my YouTube channel here, these are my songs. I don't remember having any cover songs there. These are my songs. I scream, I sing, I do all of this. Thank you, Farhan. You're very welcome. Is it yours? Sammy, is it yours? What are you asking about? Is it yours? Summertime, no, that's not mine. That's by George Gershwin. Jesus Christ loves you, says Ed. Well, I bet he definitely loves you, you know? Gosh, what's with my exposure? Titan says, back. Welcome back. Glad to see you. Is that your art, Bubblegum Betty? Yes, that's my art. I'm a singer-songwriter and a painter. This is the painting I'm currently working on behind me. This is a finished painting. There is a print of this painting. I made a post on my community tab. Just scroll down the feed and you'll find it. Are you good enough for heaven? Ever lied or stolen before? Ever cursed? Ever lusted or hated anyone before? I'm not perfect. I'm a human being. Clark Kent. I'm not thinking of the heaven and that am I good enough for heaven? No, I am living in the moment right now. And my belief system implies that I have to make conscious decisions every moment of my life. I can do good or I can do bad. I've talked about this on my last live stream. It is incumbent upon me. There are no higher powers that are deciding anything for me. As an adult human being, I have to make conscious choices, and I'm trying to do the best that I possibly can. And sometimes I fail. You know, I'm flawed. I'm a human being. You know, and I certainly sinned, and I certainly did wrong, and I certainly did a whole lot of stupid and silly. That's just how life is. You know, nobody's perfect. Can you tell me what your Trump What are your Trump Chacha doing? What do you mean Trump Chacha? I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you please rephrase the question? I'll try to answer, so far as, within the confines of YouTube policy. I will cover one of them if you don't mind, Sammy. Okay, yeah, go ahead, please. I'll appreciate this. It would be an honor. Titan, hi to you, I see you. I mean the songs on your YouTube channel. The songs on my YouTube channel, yes, these are my songs. And you're free to cover them. If you want to make a cover version, go ahead and do it. You have my permission. Bubblegum Betty says, wow, amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you for complimenting my work. Yush Kumar, how do you know there's even a heaven, goofy boy? Yep. Or maybe there is, Ayush Kumar. We don't know. I mean, for all I know, every time I fall asleep and have lucid dreams, maybe I go to heaven. Maybe that's what heaven is. Or maybe that's what hell is. I don't know. It's an open question. Wow. NYC art. New York art. Is it New York art? Really? Nice picture. Thank you. Thank you. Check out my community tab. Check out my homepage here on YouTube. And there is a list of my links in the About section. There is a link to my Etsy store. Go check out my Etsy store. Pick something for yourself. Hi, I'm Rob. Okay, nice to meet you, Rob. I subscribed. Thank you. Excuse me. Jesus loves you, says Kentucky writer. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Thank you, Kentucky writer, for showing up. I appreciate you. Double Diesel. So you can do is great. Start. Yes. Do you know what's sad? 2026 is close. It depends on how we're to a new beginning, or to new beginnings, plural. Then you would be looking with hope and positivity into the future. It depends on how do you want to see it. No one's making her choices for her other than herself. Yep, that's true. And this applies not only to me, this applies to everybody. We all do mistakes. We all sometimes make horrible choices. And then there is always a price to pay. And then there are repercussions and all of this. But this is just how life is. And I think the best we can do, even in the event of screwing something up just royally, is to learn from that and to try to rise above it and to dig yourself out again and put you back on your feet and keep going. That's the best we can do. Everybody, each one of us. That's what I think. No, God is making choices for us. Yep, true. There is no higher power. No. We are doing it ourselves. And you know what's sad, actually, is that I think that many times we do horrible things to ourselves, believing that the solutions are out of our hands. And we don't even realize it until we learn from those mistakes. You know what I mean? And then we realize that, gosh, I could have done it different. I was the one responsible for my life. I could have said no over here. I could have detangled myself and detached myself from those toxic people over there. You know what I mean? A lot of things are not random. Double Diesel, true. Thank you, Double Diesel, for being here. I have lucid dreams too. It's interesting, Rob. So, you can join the club. We have Ayush Kumar here, who sees lucid dreams. I was sharing my experiences with lucid dreams too. So welcome to the club. We broke God's laws, but Jesus paid our fine. No, Clark Kent, I will disagree with you respectfully. I understand this is a certain viewpoint. I respect this viewpoint. I respect that, but I disagree. This doesn't mean that I'm right or you're wrong. It's just different. I have a different outlook. Cool, I will check it out. Thank you, Rob. Unless you're born again, you cannot see the kingdom of heaven. Jesus Christ. Well, in the Christian doctrine, this is correct. I have something to do. Bye, everyone. Bye, Titan. It was a pleasure having you here, and I really appreciate it that you didn't forget me and you've shown up again. Thank you very much. Clark Kent, I'm glad you are so sure. How do you know you're going? And okay, you guys are talking amidst each other, which is wonderful. Leave the past in the past. True. Yes. Trust from. So what is your belief? Well, I kind of laid it out. I kind of laid out my belief that let's put it this way. I don't consider myself to be part of any religion at all. But if I was to name a religion that is the closest to what I think is going on, it's probably Zoroastrianism. But I'm still not part of the Zoroastrian belief system. I can appreciate a lot of it just rhymes with my, the conclusions that I naturally arrived at. A lot of that, I was surprised to discover that a lot of things that are described in Zoroastrianism are the things that I naturally came to learn from life, I don't know. Let me put it this way. The way I see things is that I see the universe, the whole universe, and our planet as a one living thing. This one living thing has different undercurrents in it. It has different processes. We are part of these processes. We are living creatures. We're related to the microbes and to the animals and to the plants and to everything. We're part of the same living thing. What is this living thing? I don't know. I can call it Mother Goddess, referring to the Earth, to our planet. I don't need to give it a name even, Then there is the broader universe. Now, within this, there is actual evil that exists, real evil that plagues humanity. I can't tell you where does this evil come from. If I was to, I don't want to lock myself in a Christian doctrine or into a Zoroastrian doctrine or into any doctrine, because once you put yourself in that box, now you're supposed to kind of comply to what that doctrine is saying. You know what I mean? So I prefer to be outside of these boxes because it allows me to think of it in more fluent terms and to explore the origins of things. I have a lot of questions. I'm wondering, where does pure evil come from? Apparently, it's a force of nature in a way, so it is needed for some reason. It's a necessary part of existence. It doesn't sound very moral. It doesn't sound very comforting, of course. But then when you look at, human psychology, for example, even on a very basic level, we do know that we as presumably rational human beings, we do have a dark side. Each one of us has a dark side. And if we don't work with that dark side, if we don't recognize it, we end up being naive people who think that we're very good and we're very nice, but we harm a lot of people, right? Sometimes thinking we're doing the best thing possible. And we're basically blind if we remain naive. You see what I mean? So there is a lot of layers to this, and I don't know I don't know. I don't want to box all of these beliefs into like a concrete religious concept. I'm certainly reading different philosophers, for example. I'm learning from history, from different cultures. And then I just prefer to think more and to have ideas. Ideas are easy to change, but a hardcore belief is very hard to change. So I'm avoiding the belief, but I prefer ideas, and I'm looking for the really good ones. I just get so annoyed when this religion talk starts. Yush Kumar says, well, I hope I laid it out in a not very annoying way. At least I tried to, you know. How many languages do you speak? I speak, well, at least 2 languages. I speak Russian. That's my native language. I speak English. My French is rusty. Don't test me on that. And I'm learning Greek nowadays. Demons get very annoyed when the truth of God is spoken. Okay, Clark Kent. I'm not actually having this live stream here to have a religious dispute on something. You know, religious is man-made, but Jesus is God. There is a lot to be said. I don't want to. There is a lot of interesting stuff that I can say about Christianity, about what Romans did to Christianity. I don't want to go there. There is a side of religion, of organized religion, that I don't like. It has to do with control and with mass manipulation. That's the part that I don't like. Punkao. Well, like I said, you know, my view, I don't define it as God. I just see it as our planet is our great mother. That's how I think about it. This is our great mother. We're born of this planet and we're going to die into this planet. That's how I see it. And I also think that there is a lot of things that we don't know. Scientists don't know a lot of things about how this planet works. How do we function as human beings? Various spiritual practices and spiritual teachings, ancient teachings, sometimes provide very interesting answers, which I think could be used as guides to get a little deeper. You know what I mean? As long as you're serving sin, you're serving Satan. As long as you are... Okay, Clark. I'm not serving Satan, all right? Catherine, please ban this dumbass. He thinks he's better than all of us. Yes, and Clark. Just pass the hat around twice, little bro. Yep. Okay, I'll give Clark one more chance. Clark, please, let's stop with this. I don't know how to call this, Christian propaganda, whatever. Just this stream is not about this. With all due respect, I respect your religion, I respect your churches, you know, go ahead, do your thing. But this is not, this stream is not, what do you call it? Gosh, it's not a sermon. Pardon me, I need some water. Okay. Guys, it's been an hour and 13 minutes. Oh my God, I think I actually should be going. I just noticed it's been an hour and 13 minutes. Time flies, damn it. I've been talking a lot this time. Gosh. They will never stop there. At my college too, they yell at people, you're going to hell. I'm like, bro, how are you? You're going to heaven or there's a... Yes, right. I kind of find it hilarious, really, yeah. Have a good afternoon. Ayush Kumar, thank you so very much for joining my live stream again. You know what? I would appreciate it if you want to. Next Tuesday, I will make you a moderator. All right? Is that a deal? Do you want to be a moderator on my live stream next Tuesday? Pankal, thank you very much, and you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you. It was great talking to you. Thank you. I appreciate y'all guys showing up, and wonderful. Okay, Ayush Kumar, 4 o'clock EDT. I'll be here next Tuesday. I will make you the moderator. Remind me if I forget. All right? For God's sake, bro, let it be. Yeah. Fakran, yeah. Fakran, it was a pleasure having you here too. Thank you for the questions and thank you for showing up. And thank you for the recipe. I'll look up the recipe for the Indian halwa. All right? Okay, have a good one. Bye, guys. Thank you. I love you all.